It's another Prime edition on Prime on My Media Prime TV. Good evening, and you're welcome to today's edition, which is going to be focusing on the visit to Bamenda, Northwest Regional Capital of Pope Leo XIV, as he spent his second day in Cameroon. He started this pastoral visit in Yaoundé, where he was received by the President of the Republic at the Unity Palace, President Paul Biya. Today he was in the Northwest region, where he also listened to the plight of the people. He listened to the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Bamenda. He equally listened to the Imam of Boya, who spoke on behalf of the Muslim community. He also listened to the sister, a reverend sister, who spoke on behalf of the population and abandoned people of the region. And we're going to be looking at the message he brought for the people and the implications, especially as many people are looking forward to seeing things change from security perspective in the Southwest and Northwest region. Many persons have hope that his coming is going to drop blessings, anointing to touch the hearts of those stakeholders involved in the ongoing crisis rocking the Southwest and Northwest regions. We are going to be discussing this with a cream of barristers who are with me in the studio. We have Barrister Quen, who is with us. Good evening. We're glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here too, Mr. Leo. Thanks for inviting me today, Mr. Tanku. It's good to see you on the panel, Mr. Bongam. It's good to see you all, and to our televiewers. We are happy to be here today and to share our own views on the visit of the Pope. I was so much joyous yesterday when I listened to the Pope addressing the Cameroonians in the presence of our President Paul Biya. We hope you're going to enjoy the rest of your evening with us. Just stay tuned.
Okay, Barrister Bongam Harris is also part of tonight's edition. Good evening, Barrister. We're glad to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Kum. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be on this panel, especially with my senior counsels here, so we can deliberate on the depth and implications of the Pope's visit, especially to the Northwest region, looking at the fact that we're facing this crisis. So it's very important for us to try to discuss to see to what extent was his visit important to these issues that we are facing. Thank you very much.
Okay, Barrister Tamfu, Richard is also part of tonight's edition of the program. Barrister, we're glad to have you once again on Prime Art.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. It's always an honor for me to be on your platform, and I received your invitation with a lot of excitement, especially as we are talking today about a very important personality. For those who are Christians or for those who have faith, who believe on something, I think the topic of today is a message that all of us should be very attentive, because the Pope who is visiting Cameroon is not an ordinary person. Others even consider him as the Son of God or Jesus on earth. So if you see him, you know that your road to heaven is very secured. So I think I'm delighted to be here, and I also wish to greet all the Cameroonians, and we should be proud of ourselves that we have had a privilege to welcome a Pope. This is the fourth Pope that we are having, and it's not by accident. It's because Cameroon is a strategic place, it's a strategic land, and I think that God really has an open eye on us.
Okay.
Greetings, councils.
We also are welcoming Barrister Clifford Conte, who is coming from Boya, Southwest Regional Capital. Is going to be participating in this discussion to analyze the raison d'etre for the Pope to be here in Cameroon, the expectations that he has for the security situation reigning in this part of the nation. I'm talking about the Southwest and Northwest regions, and the message he came with and how receptive we are going to be towards that. And we are glad to have you, Barrister Clifford Conte, to Prime this evening.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I think that we are here just to re-echo the firm words of the Pope. I think that his message is very clear. It's a message of reconciliation. It's a message of justice. It's a message on peace. And I think that what we are here to discuss is to re-echo the words and ask ourselves what next. Are we going to go back to the usual, or are we going to build on what the Pope has come to Cameroon to preach? I think it's a time for us to move on, and I look forward to hearing from the panelists and to doing my humble contributions during this session.
Okay, you followed up from yesterday at the Unity Palace and today in Bamenda. Are you quite impressed with what you've listened to so far?
Yes, I'm very, very quite impressed with the, first of all, with the organization. We need to thank the nation. We need to thank the Archbishop for the wonderful display, especially in Bamenda. It was very organized, and we must thank the Catholics who have worked day and night to put everything in place. We must thank them, thank all the priests, the religious, our CWA mamas, and all the other groups who have been on the ground. It has been an exceptional coming of the Pope. And I mean, the Pope's message was very clear. And I just like the fact that he went straight to the point. He has spoken some of the words that some of us civil society have been afraid to speak. I mean, there has been a lot of shrinking spaces in the civil society, and we are all hanging on these words now that he has come to re-echo to the country, to re-echo to our leaders. And there's one powerful statement that he made that says it all. And it goes thus: let those who have weapons lay them down. Let those who have power to unleash wars choose peace. Not a peace imposed by force, but through dialogue. Not with the desire to dominate others, but to encounter them.
Yes.
If we can build on these words, then I'm sure that in a few months' time, the Anglophone crisis is going to be resolved, and we are going to be intentional going forward of everything about everything that we want to do. It is a time to capitalize. Be you, our voices who are in the bushes, be you military, be you statesmen. This is the time not to let Cameroon fall again. It is a time for us to dialogue. This is a time for true reconciliation. It is a time to accept our past and move on to a brighter future, not only for ourselves, but for our nation.
Okay. Barrister Akwen, the Pope was in Bamenda today. Before talking to the people, addressing the people, he listened to so many of them representing the Muslim community. The Imam raised what the Muslim community has gone through. The Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Bamenda enumerated some of the things they have gone through. Also, amongst which he said priests have been taken, children have been stopped from going to school, lots and lots of them. But he had this to say. He started by saying, "Dear brothers and sisters, I come to you today with a heart filled with compassion and closeness. For many years now, this land has known suffering, a suffering that has touched families, communities, and especially the most vulnerable among you. We cannot ignore this pain. We must face it with truth, with courage, and with faith." This is the Pope saying this today. Have we not suffered enough? How do we expect the Pope to come and remind us of what we have been going through, yet unable to sort out?
That is the big question, Mr. Leo, and that is the big challenge. When Barrister Conte was re-echoing some of the wordings in his speech, there was one I picked up that he said, peace cannot be reduced to a mere slogan. That says it all. I don't know how our officials want that word or that expression to be interpreted further. It means that the Pope was supposed to coming to Cameroon with already the global picture of what has been happening, in spite of the fact that he has just been on the throne, on the pontifical throne, like, let me put it that way, for a few months, because he has not done 1 year there. And he was coming like somebody who already has the panoramic view of everything that happened and is throwing it back to our administrators, to our government, to say, you people have been singing peace. Expectations are high. It's like the Pope, they were expecting that the Pope was going to come with a basket full of peace seeds, like the monster seed, that he was going to just throw, and then peace, everything will just come down. I don't understand, but he made them to understand that the pathway to peace is walked through. It takes united, it takes a will, it takes your united efforts. It takes a true will to denounce peace, or to follow, or to pursue the path of peace. It doesn't just take rhetoric, it doesn't just take slogans, it doesn't just take a song. Because I got embarrassed at the point where we put our own problems to the Pope. The head of state said, some people have decided to ignore peace but took up arms and are terrorizing. The question should have been, what happened that it got to this point that some people ignored peace and choose to pick up arms and they're terrorizing, and they have put the country, the nation, into this quagmire. And when I listened to the song that the Voix de Sénac presented, and they have been like rehearsing to welcome the Pope or to sing during his own Mass in Yaoundé, they are echoing that the Pope should preach love, should preach peace, preach conciliation in unity. And then when the ordinary people were interviewed in the street, everybody was like saying, we want peace, we want peace. Those in Yaoundé say they want peace. Those in the east say they want peace. Those in the south say they want peace. But if we look at the picture, we have all the northwest and southwest that are suffering from this political quagmire, and then the frequent Boko Haram attacks in the north. Why is it that people in the littoral are talking about peace? It means that peace, the peacelessness in Cameroon, it's not only about the crisis going on in the northwest and in the southwest, or with the Boko Haram insurgencies attacking the northerners. It's something that it is both psychological, that the ordinary man does not feel safe in his own country, and they want something to be done. So that is why in Bamenda, the bishop presented a picture of what has actually gone wrong. I am a victim of kidnapped by voices in the bushes who took me to the bushes. So I fled. I came to this Douala as an IDP. I didn't come to Douala as somebody who voluntarily relocated. No, I came as an IDP for the fear of the unknown. This reverend sister who narrated the ordeals, how they lived in the bush for 3 good days. And they were moving them from one camp to another on bikes at 1 a.m. in the night. Look at all of it. And then you have the phone of Mancon. You know the phone of Mancon, this present phone, he took over the throne in the heart of the crisis. And they had to do everything traditionally to appease the environment for the late phone Anglophone to peacefully transition to the land of his ancestors, and for this new phone to take over the throne. They left all of this and they threw it back to the Pope. Well, the Pope has come. He has spoken. I hope that it has gone to the proper headquarters and the proper ears who have the knife and the yam to do the needful, Mr. Leo.
Okay, the Pope went on in Bamenda today to say, for nearly 8 years, many of your people have endured hardship they did not choose. Thousands have been displaced from their homes. Many have fled as refugees. Families have been separated. Lives have been lost. Business have been destroyed, and for years, children were unable to go to school. This is a tragedy. We are in a tragedy for over 10 years today. Why has it been, I'll ask the same question, why has it been pretty difficult to sort out this? We have the capacity to come out of the situation. Are we enjoying suffering? Yes, Barrister.
Thank you very much. The problem is what are we putting on the table? Because like Senior Counsel said, peace is also not just the absence of war. There are other things that can contribute, even if there is no war. There may be injustice, inequalities, people feel like they are being marginalized, all of these things affect. But now, if the people come up with a problem, and the government has a large part to play, the state has a large part to play, but now what are they putting on the table? That is the most important one. They say we have been at war for 10 years. There's a crisis in the Northwest and Southwest for 10 years. The people are suffering. People have shared ourselves as a victim. I myself, I was there presently. I used to be in Bamenda at that time working. Now I'm in Douala. It's because of the crisis that I actually relocated back to Douala. Now, it's easy to say that, okay, there is a problem and the government needs to do something, because a large majority of the people are putting it on the government. But I used to ask this question: what is there on the table for the government? What can the government do in terms of what the people are asking for? Because now, what is the problem, first of all, that we as the Anglophones, we are facing, and what are we doing?
They want separation.
Good. That is it. And if they are clear that cessation or nothing, then it's like they're asking for the government to give something, at the same time they've kept the government's hands. Because we know that nobody can pretend not to know that there's not going to be cessation. Everybody knows it's the bitter truth. We can pretend to say it. We can say our emotions, we can be emotional about it, but we know that even you here as an Anglophone, if you were president and they come that they want secession, you will not accept. So it's not even about a matter of whether our president is from the French-speaking region. I don't think there's any president at that place, if he was an Anglophone, that they will bring up the topic for secession, and then they will grant
He will endorse it, yeah.
He will endorse that secession. So now it makes peaceful negotiations almost impossible, because people have to compromise. For there to be peace in crisis, if you resort to mediation, you want to solve things diplomatically, people must compromise. But you cannot ask for the man's soul. So that is where the problem is. We are suffering because we have two sides. Somebody is asking also for what others consider the impossible, and then they are expecting another part to give something which they don't know how to even give. Because honestly, I said this clearly, sometimes we will talk out of emotion, but we need to be realistic. These things are facts. It's not about whether you love this place or you don't love this place. We have to be factual. If you are president, will you endorse secession? The answer is no.
Okay. The answer is no. The Pope went on today in Bamenda. He says, I call on all those involved in this crisis. Choose dialogue over confrontation. Choose reconciliation over revenge. Choose the future over the wounds of the past. True peace requires courage, the courage to listen, to forgive, to rebuild trust. But so many persons will tell you the only issue is we want justice before we can get to talking about trust, to forgive, to reconcile. And one wonders what justice, how much justice can be given to the people of the Southwest and Northwest for peace to return?
When we talk about justice, you may perceive it or approach the topic on various angles. Okay. Because maybe, I don't know if the justice that the Anglophones want is to have a separate state, or is it to improve living conditions, or is it to develop their area, or is it that their rights should be respected, or is it that they don't want to still feel being marginalized? So, to me, in a nutshell, I would say that it is true. We cannot be talking about maybe reconciling without judging people, without knowing what is wrong, without looking at the problems, looking into it. So for there to be any peace or reconciliation, there should be justice. So it is something that the powers that be should look into on a very serious note. The Pope talking about reconciliation, dialogue, it is true. We have to talk to ourselves. Even if we have to look for ways of justice, we should be able to talk to ourselves. What is the problem? How do we address it? And going further, reconciling the minds. Yes, we are no more at the time of putting blames on A, putting blames on Z. 10 years has gone already, and there have been a lot of suffering. All of us are accepting that. The Pope has taken the courage to come to Bamenda. Even the President of the Republic, who is the head of state, has not been there for 10 years. Just to tell you that the man has mastered a lot of courage. And I think that just that act and the message that accompanies it says it all. You should not stay in Yaoundé and you decree reconciliation, you decree justice, or you decree the development. Just his presence has made the airport to be renovated, to tell you that if there is peace, some of those things will come. So it is high time that we should listen to the Pope very attentively. And I'm glad that he came to Bamenda not just for the Catholic Christians. He met with other faithfuls, Muslims, traditional rulers. You see, that was a very, very good strategy. And I think that if we are honest to ourselves, we should know that at least there is space, or that it is time for us to give peace a chance. Nobody is happy with the situation. It is not benefiting the government, neither is it benefiting the population. And you saw the mass that came out. Even the separatists today said no, there should be no ghost town. They should accompany the Pope and let him have a good stay by Bamenda. So just to tell you that we should receive his message with all humility. Mm-hmm. It's no more the time to say I am stronger than this, I cannot listen to you, this and that. No, I think that the Pope spoke as somebody who is living in Cameroon. These are not new to us. We all know that. We know the problems. We know where we can solve it. It's just a matter of will. How could you imagine that today, 9 years after, the Bamenda airport is operational? It's just because people don't have a will. So if our governments were actually humane, loving each other, they will give a listening ear to all the grievances that have been going on and see how to address them. So to me, the message of peace is not just only about peace. Before addressing it's not only about justice. We should also be looking at other moral values to see how we attain the long-lasting peace that we want. So it's the time for peace to reign in the Northwest and Southwest. And not only peace in those two regions, even Cameroon as a whole. Because today we are at the verge of a transition in the country where so many things are happening. So those who have the responsibility of taking decision, before taking those decisions, should be able to make sure that they analyze the situation, make sure that their decision will be in agreement with the population. If not, they will plunge maybe the country into a chaos that we don't want to live it.
The Pope says true peace requires courage, the courage to listen, to forgive, and to rebuild trust. How do we get this done? Courage to listen, and to forgive, and to rebuild trust.
Yeah, I just think that this is all about the way forward now. Mm-hmm. It is time to stay focused. It is not time to cry over spilled milk.
Okay.
It is the time to stay focused. That is why, in addition to what he said, he says we need a totally new direction, a conversion. Mm-hmm. And it is time to stay focused on what next. And it is about rebuilding trust. Trust in the institutions that we rely on. Trust on our head of states. Trust on the promises that government gives to its people. It is time for our statesmen, I still call them, for them to rebuild the trust. Because I can tell you, in my lifetime, I've realized that Cameroonians love their country. But unfortunately, there has been so much display of distrust. Let's go back to our grand national dialogue. What were the resolutions? Do people still trust us after the grand national dialogue? What was the promise? What was it about special status? Where are we today after the grand national dialogue? The DDRO centers, what do they look like? Is this the promise you gave? Let's be truthful. It's time to rebuild trust in the beautiful suggestions, resolutions, and institutions that we have built across our nation. It is time to have empathy on the people you serve, to remember the deaths. The pain is across many countries and nations, because like my brother says, peace is not the absence of war. It means that even if you're in Germany, you're in the US, you are having trauma, sleepless nights because of your grandmother who cannot come out from her home, either in Bafut, in Kumbu, in Womb, wheresoever. You cannot bury or give your last blessings to your parents, to your loved ones when they die, because you go of fear. You go to the village, you are kidnapped, you are asked for ransom. There is pain all over. I live in the southwest region, which is a little bit better, and in Boya. But I live in pain because I ask myself, our beautiful home in Bafut, and my father struggled throughout his life to make sure that he has a safe retirement for him, his wife, and his grandchildren. Today we cannot visit it. How do I live in peace, even if I'm living in a seemingly peaceful environment? It is time for the truth to be spoken. And I want to tell the statesmen of this country what it takes to rebuild trust. What it takes to rebuild trust is just freedom of speech. Allow people to express themselves. Accountability can only be ignited with freedom of speech. By the time you know that you collect bribes, you kill, you steal, and there is no one that can come to the media, to the papers, and reproach you because of fear of detention, then it is obvious that we are going to live in a state that keeps dilapidating. So now it's time to give the voice to civil society. Let them speak. Let them open up. Let's have the debates. Let's have frank talks. Let's be focused. It is not time, it is no longer about party politics. Who is SDF? Who is CPDM? Who is Anglophone? Who is Francophone? We are talking about a Cameroonian people who are living in pain and suffering. I have also been kidnapped for 2 nights. I trekked from 9 a.m. to 5:30 to the camp. And I listened to the frustrations of the boys. And I can bet you a majority of them I interviewed, their problem was unemployment, for example. They are living in abject poverty. So there is a lot that needs to be talked. And the Pope makes it very clear that you cannot have peace without education, without training, without entrepreneurship, without jobs for young people. Let's stay focused.
Okay, let's stay focused, Vice Clifford. But the Pope also went further to say, when he says this is a tragedy, he goes further to say, children must never be used as instrument of conflict or political bargaining. They are the future, and their dignity must be protected. Certainly frowning at those who decided for children not to go to school for years.
You see, Mr. Leo, that was another powerful statement by the Pope. And you discover that those who picked up arms, they were not you and me who went to school. When lawyers and teachers started this this revolt on marginalization and exclusion, we were using pen and paper. We were using our mouth to do the advocacy. We didn't pick up arms. Those who pick up arms are those whose education ended midway, either because of a financial difficulty that their parents could not, or because they didn't have the Do I don't know what are the logistics? Imagine that we studied in days of primary school, we're using bush lamp to read, and in a whole house we have just one bush lamp. When do they use it in the kitchen? When do they give you to go and read? At the close of the day, you got frustrated. You left school midway and you didn't go to school. So those who stopped children from going to school were those who didn't finish school. They didn't know the value of education. In as much as when they started, Tasang was like, no, let's stop school. The stopping of school at that time by Tasang Wilfred, who was the syndicate for teachers, it was just a way of putting the government on his feet, on a hot seat to say, no, this thing looks like it's more serious than I thought, than that children should not go to school.
Yeah, but we've heard the likes of Chris Anu and the rest out of the country advocating for children not to go to school. You won't tell me that they have not been to school themselves.
That is why we say that it was their own thought that if we do this, we're going to put the government on the wall. International organizations were going to come in and say, no, you government of Cameroon, you have to sit up, listen to the plight of these people, because education is not anything that you can trade with. Education is the future. Education is the key. No society survives without good education. Not only education, but good education for the children. And the children who were what? The youths of today. Remember, just imagine a child that was 6 at the time. My child was 6 at the time. Today he is 16. He's already youth, he's in lower seat. Next year we're going to the university, or we'll be thinking to write a public competitive exam where you enter there with advanced level. These are the issues that they taught. And by the time they were not in the scene, they should have called off that particular aspect. But then with the glorification of guns in the hands of half-cooked boys, who were neither, no, completely uneducated. The highest that they had was maybe primary 6 or primary 7. So it was not a security measure for children not to go to school. But even when they decided to go to school, they will block school for 1 month, like it happened last year, because of elections. Those are the other aspects of the crisis that we strictly condemned. And gradually, they are coming. We don't know whether the crisis is failing now, then they are coming back to their senses. But those were some of the issues. And I think that the Pope was in order because, like I said initially, he already have a picture of everything that happened and is happening as far as the crisis in the Northwest and in the Southwest is concerned. And I pray that subsequently, this Monday goes down, because 4 on 5, you miss a lot on one day. And Monday is that day that when you finish weekend, you go to school on Monday. Monday is that vibrant day where all your senses and every faculty, they are intact. They are pro-study. By the time you missed Monday, and if you don't organize your life, you don't organize yourself on Sunday to begin Monday, by the time you miss Monday, you will discover that your entire week may not be properly organized. So if they can start, the Pope has spoken, if they can start by withdrawing or liberating, because Monday has been held ransom, Monday is in captivity. If Monday could be liberated, that schools and workers resume on Monday. And I think that would be a pathway for the voices to accept the fact that the Pope has come, he has spoken. Because if they could give up these days to say no, for the visit of the Pope, we are not calling on ghost town. It means that they believe in the pacificity nature of the Pope, and that he is a bearer of good tidings, and he is coming into our land. Let them start by promising the Pope that your coming to Bamenda was not in vain, by simply just calling off on Monday. And maybe if they want to impose, to feel that they are still in control, because that is what they want, an illiterate being in control. Before, they could not be in control. Nobody knew them. But now, with arms and with them giving directive, that is why you see at times it is conflicting ghost town. Some said ghost town, some said ghost town. This one said, I am a general, I will impose my own ghost town, so that they should hear from me. And you see that power tussle. Yes, if they want to keep their ghost town for whatever reason, they can just say, okay, this time, but let them just liberate Monday. And that is as a pathway to peace, and as a pathway of acceptance of the pontiffs present in Cameroon and in Bamenda that covers the northwest and the southwest.
Okay. The Pope had a message to the youth. He says, to the young people of this region, do not lose hope. You have suffered greatly, especially through the loss of education and opportunity, but your future is still alive. Do not allow yourself to be manipulated by violence or hatred. You are called to be builders of peace. Once we talk about not to be manipulated by violence and hatred, you are called to be builders of peace. People will quickly say we cannot have peace without justice. What is this rationale? When we say justice, what should be done again to say justice has been done? What justice are we talking about here?
Yes, Mr. Kum, personally, I'm an ambassador of peace. One of those people that no matter what, I will tell people always to
seek
choose
peace.
Peace. Because we know what, even though peace is not just, like I said earlier, it's not just the absence of war, but when we're talking of peace in this particular sense, we're talking about, first of all, stopping the violence, where children can go to school and nobody is scared that their child will get kidnapped or get killed. Parents can move freely, goods can move freely, and everybody goes back to their day-to-day lives without fear, first of all. Now, the issue of justice, like I said, the main cause of all these problems is the injustices that we face. And they are, like Barrister Tanfu said, it's a wide category of issues. Unemployment is injustice. Poverty is injustice. Lack of access to education is injustice. Lack of access to healthcare is injustice. I think, first of all, we need to put ourselves in the position of these people, because the Pope said don't be manipulated. It means that what, there are some people who are taking advantage of this statement, injustice or justice, just to hold on to continue to do violence. It means that what, they should be realistic in the demands for justice, because all countries in the world have issues of injustice. There is no country in the world that you say there is no injustice. Yes, you have unemployment everywhere. There's corruption everywhere. You have lack of access to education everywhere. Racism, all those things. So, but what we need to do is, first of all, we need to understand that, okay, these things are there, they are inevitable. But now we need all parties, civil society, the government, NGOs, to play an active part in seeing how they can solve these issues. Because what we need, we have people who are jobless. He said it clearly. Those boys there in the bush, 99.9% of them is joblessness, because there's nobody who will really leave his job and say he wants to go and sit in the bush. So maybe some people later on realize that kidnapping gives money and then they quit maybe the one or two buy and sell businesses that they were doing to follow their brothers who told them, master, we don't kidnap some family, it takes 10 million. No. But originally, those who started to go into the bushes, the lack of education, one, but the lack of jobs, abject poverty, that is the main key. And I think if they want to first of all tackle this issue, like he said, entrepreneurship, the government must make sure that they provide fresh air for the youths. The youth must be able to breathe, they must be able to live, to survive, to be sure that you are sleeping in the night and you are not wondering if you will be able to eat in the morning. If they can do this, this is the first step. Then from there, we can now go to other aspects of the injustice that has been done. But a lot of people, those people who are separatists, who have the separatist mindset, they take advantage of this fact. They use the word, oh, for them to be peace, there must be justice, so they don't want to lay down their arms. Laying down the arms, first of all, is something that must be done. The country cannot move forward. Even what they are asking for cannot be granted with arms in their hands. Because if they send me somebody as a minister to go to Kumbo now, to go even there and organize, people, yeah. I will not go. Because I'm also afraid they have arms and they have no control. You are talking about people that have no control, where they can even say there's no ghost town today, and you hear that they've kidnapped somebody on that same day. So you are even moving with fear. So this separatists should not, or the people with the mindset, especially those in the diaspora, they sit and they say these things. and they capitalize on the injustice. But injustice is inevitable. We will always have injustice. But even though the government must play a large role, very important role, a pivotal role to make sure that our youth are not suffering. They cannot solve everybody's problem, but the youth must see the government taking these necessary steps, doing these things, showing us that they have this intention to give the youth power to emancipate themselves from poverty, to come out from this abject poverty. And then from there, we can move on to other aspects of injustice and be solving them along the line.
Yeah. Yes, you can come in.
A small interjection.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is very, very important for us to understand some of the words we use, like injustice. Because I think that a particular party is being tagged for having committed the injustices. Who are the architects of injustice? Let's be clear.
Yes.
And you have to know that for justice to take place, there must be truth and reconciliation. If you read the history of Rwanda, you will get to understand what truth
The setting of
and
a special tribunal.
yes, it must happen the way it is. And it is not only about the state. It's about the kidnappers. It's about the killers. It's about those who have gone through pain in both the community, by community agents and separatists, and also by state agents. I'm just coming in for us to have this clarification that when we are attacking injustice, we should be very clear on which injustices and who are the architects of the injustice. Who are those to be accountable? Because it is a fanfare and it is widely known and widely spoken, and it is spoken and recognized when a statesman commits or gives orders that resort to injustices. But sometimes we conceal the injustices that take place in our community. The kidnapping, the killings, the refusal to go to school, the abductions, the ransoms that are being paid. And we try to tag them to the reason of the crisis. Like I said, it's going to be painful going back to down the line of this trajectory.
Yes.
It is that we should stay focused and go forward, take away the pain, positivity, positive language. How do we go from here? That is the language that the Pope wants us to go forward with. It is not a time again to cry over spilled milk. Kidnappings if we accept and embrace the fact that we need peace, then we will say that kidnappings have come and gone. Yes. The killings have come and gone. The ghost towns have come and gone. And now we need dialogue. We need dialogue with the right parties, for those who are intentional about how far this marriage has gone. What can be done to make this marriage work? Because we were existing in a federal republic. Today we are a united republic. Now it's a time, a unity state. So today is time to go forward, forward thinking.
Forward thinking. Do you have the impression that some persons are manipulated in the whole of this?
Yes, from the beginning, all of us, we cannot deny that many people were manipulated, even those who were learned. Some believed that something could come out of this struggle.
The school boycott?
Even with school boycotts, even lawyers who went on strike. See, lawyers went on strike because they said no, they had professional issues. Teachers went on strike. Those are learned persons. So maybe some could perceive that as manipulation. So some believe that some changes could be made towards that direction, just to realize that all the struggles were hijacked by people who had hidden agendas. So I think that we can say there have been some manipulations from one angle to another. And to me, I don't want to only be talking about those negative aspects. To me, I want to be looking forward. Now that we have welcomed the Pope, all of what next? Those are the things I want the Pope. Has the message that he brought resonate in our minds? The separatists, have you listened to it? Does his presence soften your heart? Is it time for us to give peace a chance? I think that is what all of us should be meditating on that. Now that the Pope has left Bamenda, I believe that he must have left Bamenda.
He's in Yaoundé already.
Good. So now, what next? Ghost towns, as my colleagues have been saying, they should come out clear and let it be official that no more ghost towns. People should be free to move around. And I think that we should now welcome development. We should all capitalize on what the Pope has come to reignite. We saw that with his presence. The city was active. Roads were being arranged. The infrastructures, roads have been rehabilitated. So that is what we should. Are those things not beautiful? When we saw the population acclaiming the Pope, are they not beautiful things? I think that is what all of us should be looking. The traditional rulers, it is time now to talk to your subject. That look, those who are in the bushes, we should not behave as if this thing is a foreign thing. It's not the Pope to come and do the needful. The Pope has come with a message. Now we should capitalize on it on both sides. And not only pointing fingers on separatists, even the government, because the government has always been behaving as if it has a deaf ear. It is time for the government also to listen. If we have had a major national dialogue, we can still have another dialogue. And this time around, let it be with the right parties, as my colleague said here. So I think that we should be looking on how we can capitalize on the visit of the Pope. He has come to clean the Cameroon nation. So that is what I want us to be discussing on. So to me, I'm looking very hopeful that the message has gone across. Those who are the separatist leaders or those who are maybe holding the strings of this ongoing crisis should pass on a message. Yes, that maybe, and strong messages. Maybe no more goes down. Children will go to school now freely. Yes. We have wasted so much years, and I think that it is time for us to, as we have all accepted to embrace the Pope, then I think it's time for us to capitalize on what he has brought to us, so that when he leaves, we should not continue in the kind of funny behavior that we have. So I think that we are not yet to talk about dividing Cameroon. No, I think we are all in the unison that he even preached a message of unity. So together we are strong. So the only problem here is the political will that we don't have. We don't have trust in ourselves.
Okay. He also yesterday in Yaoundé, he had this to, I'm sure, the leaders of Cameroon. He said, it is your responsibility as leaders and citizens to nurture it. I'm sure he's talking about peace through courageous decisions, transparency, and a renewed commitment to the service of all. Drawing inspiration from St. Augustine, I wish to recall that authority is not domination, but service. Those entrusted with governance must exercise power not out of love for control, but from a sense of duty towards other people. Very clearly speaking to the authorities, we hope that many Cameroonians are hoping that the message went down to the President of the Republic, who personally received the Pope. All the ministers were there, and he even moved to Bamenda today with the Minister of Territorial Administration, which means that the Pope was talking to almost everybody.
Once again, I think I was really very euphoric when I heard him make those statements in his speech, and that all the members of governments were there. And I think that they have some sense, they have conscience. It has sunk into the right ears. So nobody will say, I didn't hear or I don't know, because we don't have leaders, we have but rulers. And there is a difference. A leader leads you into your destination. Jesus, if you take the example of Jesus, Jesus was leading his people. That's what they say, make me lie down in green pastures. He takes you to the place where greener pastures are. He didn't reprimand anybody. He didn't rebuke anybody. He didn't castigate. He didn't give people names. And I think that those who like say, oh, If you want to cry, if you miss the election, go and cry in your house. Because if you're in the street, the Molinex, I hope they heard. Those who caused this problem by saying, oh, 2 cubes of sugar, what can they do? They were there. Those who said, Anglophone can never rule this country, or it belongs to us, all of them were there. And these are part of the issues of injustices that we are talking about. You have the political injustice, you have the social injustice, you have the cultural injustice, you have the and the like, all put together. These are injustices, and these are equally hate speech, because hate speech has contributed to enormously to put Cameroon into this situation. That's why I'm saying that not only those in the northwest or southwest are craving for peace. The whole nation, they are craving for peace, which means that one way or the other, they have been deprived of peace. When injustice becomes law, resistance becomes the duty. And you see, it has gone to a place, Cameroonians, and only the Northwesterners and Southwesterners are resisting. But you see, the other ones, they are like, have gone back into their shell, like the snake, and like the snail, and like the tortoise. They don't take any pleasure in the things of the nation. But like, but the coming of the Pope is like the harbinger. Like Jesus who entered Jerusalem, everybody came out because they're believing that something good is going to come out from the Pope. All of it, the Pope said more than that. He said a pathway to peace is justice, respect for human rights, and the rule of law. He put all of those, accountability in a management of public funds. We will know that many roads, according to the records, they have already been tarred. Where are the funds? Who gives account to who? And he talks about love. Our leaders don't love their citizens. That is the truth. Because if you love your citizens, you not allow one part to be in chaos. And the other ones, they are going about their lives. And I remember one time somebody said, c'est vous qui êtes dans le nord-ouest. Quand tu traverses Matazuntu entre... Non, oui. La vie est normale. Eh? Donc c'est vous. You understand? Those were hate statements. Instead of trying to see, well, how do we solve these things so that people can live normal lives again? It's like they segregated you. And when they watch people being displaced, they were so happy that if you displaced from your base, there is no way you can ever come back to unite to talk about the Anglophone problem anymore. But they forget to know that it is an ideology. It is not distance. Social distances will not help it. So those are some of the issues that we need to come back on the table. And you talk of reconciliation. In reconciliation, you must be frank. Because what happened in Yaoundé in 2020, to me, I don't know. That was just one grand meeting for people to come together and people justify funds. Because if you see the budget, that for instance, general managers, they justify the lead general manager had 1 million for 2-3 days that he stayed in Yaoundé. So they were going there to go and enjoy themselves. It was a big meeting that people went there to go and enjoy themselves, like we have end of year meeting, you go and enjoy yourself. Nothing was said that was concrete or that was actually aimed at solving the crisis. Because if, like my colleague said, special status, what has special status to change? So what was it all about? What has it done?
Concretely. Concretely. When you say this had nothing to do, what did you expect to be the clear outcome of the major national dialogue?
The major national...
If you were to lead it and then make proposals, yes, would you say they should grant a two-state federation? They should grant a what? Yeah.
I would have assembled all the recommendations and see which one was more obvious on the table. And maybe if they said separation, because I think at that instance, separation was already under the table. They wanted a two-state federation. They wanted what happened in the pre-1972 state of Cameroon.
Who wanted it?
That was a majority of the of Anglophone Cameroonians.
There was an issue. The delegation from the Northwest talked about this, but the leader of the Southwest delegation, who is late Senator from V. Mukete, said that the Southwest delegation is not interested in that. So you may be speaking on behalf of a people, but there is a clear divide as to what the people desire from the Northwest and the Southwest.
That was the
outcome.
unfrankness of that dialogue, because they went to that dialogue not with an intention of solving a problem. They went to that dialogue more. There was even a more divide in that dialogue that it was going to solve a problem, because you see, this faction came with their agenda, this one came with an agenda, so that they could maintain what was the status quo. There was no frankness, according to what the police said. There was no frankness.
One last question.
In that
Now,
situation.
are you very certain that if you were to be sent to the Southwest today and the Northwest to ask whether they need a two-state federation, the people of the Southwest would vote what you are talking about, two-state federation?
I am not a Southwesterner, so I will not know. I'm not in the heart.
So
I will not know.
it-
But I'm
it
saying
comes
that
back to the
that was
difficulty.
a mafia. It was a mafia.
It comes back to the difficulty
It was a mafia
in
in that
providing a clear solution.
Yes, but to me, I said that
Yeah.
was a mafia in that dialogue. They didn't go there to actually solve a problem.
There's one major thing we're missing. The head of state called for a grand national dialogue in line with the Constitution. You can read it. In line with the Constitution.
You think contrary to it was
Article 64 of our Constitution tells us that no discussions can be held on the desecration on the form of the state. So the Grand National Dialogue, like we said, was limited. And so discussions could not be put on the
Not go
table
beyond what is
related on the form of the state.
Okay, it has been made. But now the Pope has come to Cameroon. It's not gone. Yes. Tomorrow, he's going to be welcomed here in Douala. But the message from yesterday and today is pretty clear. I've come. I have acknowledged the problems you people have lived for 10 years. People have not gone to school. People have been marginalized. Lots and lots of issues of governance issues. Because when he talks about the respect for human rights, governance issues, yes, but he has said what he has to do. Who has to implement it? Because it looks like we are expecting more from the Pope than from ourselves.
Honestly speaking, that's what some people are thinking. Some people are misled by that intention, by thinking
the
that
Pope was going to come and take a whip.
Yes,
Say he wants
a
to
lot of people were expecting that. They were thinking that the Pope would come and impose something. Yes, but people who know the truth, who understand how diplomacy works, they know that the Pope is just coming as a peacemaker. And then they believe that the Christian population, which is the largest population in Cameroon, and about 80% of them, or 70, will likely be Catholics, that will have the way they look at the Pope. Even the ones in the bushes that are Catholic Christians also look at the Pope in that same manner. Maybe after talking to the people, it will soften the hearts of these people. But now he has said what he wanted to say, or what he had to say. He has acknowledged the wrongs of both sides, all parties, all stakeholders. Now it's left for us Cameroonians, because the highest the Pope can do is to make a speech. There's nothing further than that he can do. Make his speech and go back to where his jurisdiction is. Now, we have to take upon ourselves, because this peace is for us, it's not for the Pope. Where the Pope is in the Vatican, he's enjoying above peace, excess peace. This peace that he's asking for is for us Cameroonians. And the Pope cannot want peace for us more than ourselves. It's impossible, because it's our children that are not going to school. It's our parents that are living in fear. Most of us have not been to the village for 10 years just because of fear. So we need to say, okay, now the Pope has come. Hopefully he has softened the hearts of many. What are we going to do next? We have to take action. The state has its own part to play. People in the bushes have their own part to play. Even we sitting here, we have our own part to play just by talking. You may have your distant cousin who has been hiding in the bush somewhere with his own small hunting gun. And you call him and you say, you know what? This is time for us to move forward. Come first. If all of us will, because the main issue now is the violence. That is the biggest problem we are facing. That violence has affected us economically. It has affected us spiritually. It has affected development. You see, because of the Pope's coming there, you see that even the construction companies have been facing difficulties in working in the Northwest. The boys kidnap their workers, take ransom, they pay ransom and they still kill. So this has put widespread fear in everybody's heart. Now all of us need to work together, all Cameroonians, those in the bushes, the government, everybody knows their role. Nobody is ignorant of the role they have to play. The government knows the role they have to play. The people in the bushes need to understand that any dialogue that will take place honestly before man and God, we know that if he's going against Article 64, it will not hold, like he said. That is a fact. We cannot come here and pretend as if there's some magic that is going to happen. We know that. So they now have to start shrinking down their demands, to be asking for things that are more feasible, things that are possible to be given. But first of all, everybody must lay down their arms. We come, because this crisis, like, I think it's you who said it or him that said that the government does not benefit anything. As much everybody wants this thing to stop, the chaos is affecting everybody. The insecurity is affecting everybody, affecting even the resources of the country in terms of tourism. A lot of people no longer come to the Northwest. We used to go and look at Menchum Fall and all of that for fear of violence. So the government also wants this to stop. But those who are in the bushes too also have to understand that whatever they are asking for, maybe they were misled. Like he said, these people are being manipulated. They got into this thing. And now they have realized that nothing is coming out from it. It's time for us to change the direction.
I want us to stay with justice. Somebody says there will be no peace without justice. And I wrote back to him that, can I know the justice you're asking for? And he tells me that they should release prisoners. I don't know whether that is the justice. But he's not coming out clear. But when you talk behind the scenes with persons, they say, the justice that they want is that they should go back to 1961. Is that still feasible today? Is it tenable?
No, we should be factual. We should come out from that dream.
Yes,
okay.
I think that the person who is saying that if there should be justice, which act can the government pose to really show that we are serious about or we are serious about the Pope's visit, releasing people, for example.
Okay.
I think sometimes the president even released some. I thought that was a good move, but I don't know why of a sudden he just stopped. I think that he himself, if he has actually listened to the message of the Pope, that is also something that he should do. He can decide to release especially those who really had very, very minimal offenses. We know that there are people who are in prison that have done nothing. Even the leaders who are there have done nothing. I think for all these years, 10 years, maybe some of them in captivity and all the like, I think it's high time that if he decides to release those persons, it will not kill him. I think it will be a step ahead in appeasing the people and showing that, yes, we are serious. And we should not only be looking at the president. I think even the separatists, they themselves can even, because I know what they hold dear is the issue of ghost town, because they still control those days. They can also come out with a message and say, okay, no more ghost town. And I think government will say, wow, that's feasible, it's realistic, yes, we are living it. And I think government should also do something, because whether we like it or not, we have to compromise. The parties have to compromise. And there is no just space, even in heaven. Yes. So there's nowhere you will not see. Because if there was justice everywhere, I don't know why you will see a human being, he's not able to feed. You see another living being, he's feeding himself.
All created by God.
All created by God. So all we should know is that the minima should be attained. And I think here that the very minimal thing to be done now, that it will not cause any harm. It will not. I don't think if the president decides to liberate those that are in prisons today, especially in relation to this crisis, the political one is going to die. No. If he does that, that is something that will appease. If the separatists decide, okay, yes, children, you are now free, people should go back to their, people should come back. Those who are in refugee camp should come back. It's a strong message that will really show that we are serious to mean business. Somebody will not fall from heaven to come and solve these problems for us. The Pope is just coming with with a message. This is what I have seen. He himself takes the courage to feel it, to have first-hand touch, which many of us are not even able to do it. Even some people are here in Cameroon, they are unable to go to those places, but he has gone. Despite the security that accompanied him, but already he's showing that it is possible. What lacks is just the political will. So our government should note that even with the recent bills or the recent modification of the Constitution, a lot of ink, people are saying a vice president is created. Many want to see. Even the president who is about to take that decision, he should look around. Should I appoint somebody? Is it it is already a law, so we are no more. It's no more a debate. Should I appoint my son? Should I appoint somebody that hails from my village? Should I appoint this? So he himself should be able to analyze, do all those, listen to all those voices, and at the end of the day, we expect him to come out with an ideal person that at least will be accepted even by 80 or 90. Let it not be that it is something that he is coming to impose. So I think we should just, all of us should know that there is no just space. So all of us want that there should be justice.
Senior Counsel, I need to ask one question.
Yes.
On this issue of the release of these political prisoners.
Yes.
So it's a good idea, but if, for example, you know that this political prisoner is bent on achieving what actually took him there, will you still release him?
I'm talking about those those who actually are there for nothing.
All right.
We know that they come to a quarter, they just arrest
yes.
and they send to
collateral
prison.
damage.
They don't have anything to do with the crisis. Those are the type of person that I say that, okay, we know, I think everybody has a case filed there, at least we know, they know how the investigation is going, they know the kind of category of persons that they can release. And even those who have issues like, for example, the ones who were taken in Nigeria, where we know very well that
some of them
had nothing to do.
Nothing concrete.
Yes. At least. And if they know that their voices can carry, we can take it as a challenge. Okay, if I'm releasing this person, in those early days, I thought that no, when they took Ayok Tabe, I knew, all of us knew that no, that is somebody that could speak and they listened. They kept him thinking that no, the crisis is going to die, but it kept on evolving. So now, if we think that he's a voice, even if we have to take that sacrifice, they can leave him. And then maybe he goes and does the preaching.
Okay, he does the preaching. Barrister Clifford, the Pope went to Bamenda today. He's left. Whatever hope the people had, whatever expectations they had, he's been there and he's gone. He's not coming back to talk about this crisis again. What can the people make out of this visit to Bamenda to make sure that it did not come in vain?
All right. I think, like we have been saying from the start, someone already took away my concluding remarks vis-a-vis amnesty from our president, because my concluding remarks was going to be a message to the head of state. But I will start with your question. The people of Bamenda, the people of Northwest and Southwest, if we are truly touched by the visit of the Pope, then it is time to take action. Peace is hardly given. Sometimes it's taken, and it is taken by the community. They are our children. They are our grandchildren. They are our brothers. They are our sisters. Now is the time to do that call. That motherly call, that fatherly call, for us to be able to move forward through reconciliation. We need a ceasefire. We need to stop the kidnapping. We need to show our own part of the good faith after the Pope's coming, and let those who have fled away from our villages, let them come home and stay in their homes peacefully with you and enjoy the community. Now is the time for the community to show that good faith, to act on the words of the Pope. It is time for the religious. It is time for the traditional rulers. It is time to embrace the chiefs and the fawns who have fled their homes and the funds and the chiefs, it is time to also go back and take responsibility and show your people good faith once more. It is time to talk to the people and move forward for us to reconcile. And on the other hand, it is time for the state to show good faith. And my message to the head of state is that the law allows for amnesty. It is time to forgive and forget. It is time to go back and look into the case of Naira 10, Ayuk, Seseko, and the others. We plead on you, the heads of state, let the Pope's visit not go in vain. People are waiting to hear from you and to see what the state, the actions that the state is going to take after this visit. Let's not kill the anxiety of the people to embrace peace once again, to fight for reconciliation and come back to a state of peace. You must take that action as the head of state. Our Anglophone brothers and ministers, our fathers, you feel our pain. It is time to be our voices along the corridors of the presidency and let them feel the pain of where your nevels were buried. Now is the time to whisper into the ears of those who run this country that your homeland needs peace after the Pope has come and gone. That we do not need killing no more. We do not need kidnapping no more. We need a justice that will be started by you. And I pray that you can grant amnesty to and forgiveness to those who you think are criminals, because they were doing it for a people, because they knew they were fighting for justice for their people. And if in any way they trampled on the rule of law, let the Pope's message soften your heart. The community, the religious leaders in the communities, the chiefs, our parents, our grandparents, you have your role. Our statesmen, you have your role. The head of state, you have your role. But most of all, our ministers from Northwest and Southwest, the burden is more on you to bring peace to your land.
Okay. I want us to provide answers to some of the worries expressed by those watching us. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and all the lawyers in the panel. I admire the manner with which you are discussing the way forward, but note that the amount of hard drugs that have been consumed by some people must be cleansed from their system to stop them hallucinating, else they can never think to make anything reasonable from the Pope's visit. Why are the panelists not bold enough to tell us about the injustices observed during the October 12 elections? They should be telling us how institutions which have what it takes to bring justice are unable to do so, because those who head these institutions are appointed by the head of state. Can they really tell us whether the issue of a vice president is really supposed to be followed, the procedures which it just did? And Andy is writing from Bamenda. Okay, good evening to you, Andy. I'm sure about the vice presidency, we've discussed that 4 times here. For the Pope to visit in Bamenda, I believe before going back, the Pope have something very important to tell the president, how to bring back peace in the country. Good evening to all of you. The much important thing we need now is dialogue. Let the government remember that it is the most important, okay? Good evening, Mr. Liu. Sincerely, President Biya is no controlling things, okay? Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks for the good work you and your team are doing. I just want to ask a question, especially to the barrister that I respect the most. Did they ever dissolve the state of British Cameroons and La République? Okay. Was there any union treaty between Southern Cameroon and the Republic of Cameroon. Thanks. Bless is writing from Yaoundé. Who is going to answer that? This issue of Union Treaty. Yeah.
The problem is, this is history. And you need to do a lot of research. For the little I know is that there were two entities per the 1961 Constitution, where we had West Cameroon and East Cameroon. We had a federal structure. So two entities. We have moved from there till 1972. They are our fathers. They accepted that they should be one and indivisible. So am I the one to come today and say, was the union dissolved? Was it not dissolved? I just have to accept it and look forward.
Yeah, but why are we talking so much about the Union Treaty and not the plebiscite? The plebiscite question said you, as from this day, you are voting to join either Nigeria. Yeah. So by voting, what did that imply?
Seriously, Mr. Leo. This is a topic that is a
I should
whole.
bring Professor Ngo and
it's a
Professor
whole.
William. I've been
It's
bringing them, and they have been explaining these things. People keep.
Let me give my take. The only thing that we will beckon the state is that our country needs truth, reconciliation, and dialogue. That is intentional. That puts all the cards on the tables. And there is no form of dialogue that will not discuss the root causes. And on that table, all the worries of the person texting is going to be addressed. We cannot address that here because we will have no solution. The solution lies on the dialogue table. In all constitutions that we have had one article that prohibits desecration of the Republican form of the state. So it is not new. We can have a dialogue notwithstanding the existence of that article, because we cannot come to a peaceful resolution of the Anglophone crisis without being intentional, without addressing the root causes of the Anglophone crisis. And that is the way forward. Dialogue.
Okay. Which means that there is a need. Times have changed. What operated and obtained in 1972 cannot be the same thing today. If they could revise the constitution to reinstate the post of the vice minister, they can still revise that same constitution to reinstate the pre-1972 constitution of the federal state.
Two-state federation?
Two-state federation. It is just a political will. It is very, very possible.
No, it's completely against the constitution.
Constitution is the will of the people.
Yes.
Yes, the people now have changed. When you say somebody have changed, you have grown. What you loved yesterday, you don't want it today.
But for you to take this act, you need something that is backing you.
You need to adjust.
Which text?
Again. What text again? We are amending the constitution.
Yes. Based on the constitution.
Because of the stakes.
Yes. Based on the constitution.
No, you cannot amend again based on the constitution.
Yes. In amending the constitution, they take the same articles from the constitution.
It's a new president to come and set aside the constitution and they rebuild the new constitution to match the times and the future.
Yeah, that one is going out to be autocracy. It's possible, but it will no longer be democratic.
When there's a political, it just takes a political.
Yeah, it's possible. Exactly. That one is better.
It is possible. It's not impossible. It just needs a will.
You, Mr. Leo, to read again to our audience and to us the message of the Pope.
Okay, can I?
The Holy Father called for a decisive change of course, a true conversion that will lead us to a totally opposite direction.
A new direction.
Onto a sustainable path rich in human fraternity. He states again, the world is being ravished by a handful of tyrants, yet it is held together by a multitude of supportive brothers and sisters. I think our panel discussion should be geared towards the way forward.
So the solution
And
is
the
in
new
us.
Yeah, but I'm sure the Pope actually talked about not going back to the past. I don't know where it says. I'll trace where he said so that we shouldn't go back to the past. And but what if we go back? Let's assume that we are going back to the past to two-state federation. I want us to be frank here.
1972.
Now, when we had the federation, there was what is called Vicuma, Victoria Kumba Manfe. Why? Because some people thought that others were marginalizing and dominating on them. Don't you think that we may be digging another pit, which we may find ourselves in the South Sudan situation, because we behave as if we have forgotten history? So many persons we are talking about the history. Victoria Kumba Manfe came up because the people of at the time it was the forest region down there, felt that all the prime ministers, the vice presidents came from the Bamenda region, and they were dominating. Don't you think that is the fear and the reason why at the major national dialogue they made it very clear that they were not ready for this?
If we look at it critically, Mr.
Because you are talking about times have changed. They lived this epoch from 1961 and 1972 and said, we are not very comfortable. That is why we want this to move. You want us to go back to it.
From President Biya's reign till today, Northwest have had just 2 prime ministers. Southwest have had 3. I think that was compensation. Going back to pre-1970, that was compensation.
Compensation for what?
Yes, for the
Are you agreeing that there was marginalization?
It was not marginalization. Who were those pressing things? People could not sleep and Widosa, and then others are walking, and then you take and give to the person who has been sleeping, and
So
maybe
the same problem is coming back. You are justifying the problems. Please, can we go out of? Can we go out? Yeah,
I said we should keep it for next month.
The problem will come.
We should, that's what I'm saying. We should keep it for May.
That is the problem.
Because May we are going towards that unity stage.
Please. You see, the problems are very, very evident. Can we move away from
Okay.
that? Yes, let's move away from it.
All right, I think that the first thing we should know is that our history is complex.
Very complex.
And we have moved into contemporary issues are more complex. So we are talking about a Cameroon of the past where there existed the Maquisards. That if the West have to ignite it,
that we should go back to
that
the
we should
Maquisard
go
period
back to the Maquisard period.
until the UPC obtains its
Yes.
this.
It is going to be another rupture. If the Northwesterners and the Southwesterners want to go back to 1961, it will be another issue. Then we go now to our brothers in the north. Then not forgetting them. And then before you come now, even to the Bulu, I bet you don't think that they are all really. So our history is very complex. We are Africa in miniature, no doubt, with many tribes, clans, but also it is complex. And so that is why we need dialogue. And this is where we need our book people. Those who have gone, the professors, we need political experts to sit and copy from other from other countries and look at our own complex situation and come up with a new direction that must not be the same like a system that any other country has. And what we need in this country, in exact terms, is a constitutional dialogue. A constitutional dialogue that is going to make Cameroon more inclusive. And when the North looks at the Constitution, they are satisfied. When the West looks at the Constitution, they are satisfied. When the Northwest and the Southwest look at the Constitution, they are satisfied. What is the system that Cameroon can have going forward that is going to make Cameroon live in peace, unity, and prosperity without any clan trying to cling on power or marginalize others? So this is where dialogue comes in. And we need a constitutional dialogue a frank constitutional dialogue that is going to give us a new direction in line with the Pope's message. It is time to take a U-turn and forget about control for now and give power to the people.
Okay. I am aware that many priests, religious men and women, and even bishops have faced harassment, intimidation, and suffering. That is the Pope talking there in Bamenda. I express my deep solidarity with them. Their mission to serve peace, to accompany the people, and to bring hope where despair threatens to take root. Peace is not simply the absence of war. Peace is built through justice, dialogue, forgiveness, and sincere commitment to the common good. No one wins in violence. Too much blood has been shed. Too many tears have been cried. It is time to choose another path, what you just said. It is time to choose another path. But this is a Pope who is a religious leader addressing issues of the nation. I remember he also talked about the fact that he is aware of the religious leaders wanting to engage in mediation and that he was endorsing them. But for some time now, we have not seen the religious leaders themselves taking up that responsibility to talk about political issues, and except some few bishops who were highly castigated. How do we do a follow-up from our religious authorities with this symbolic foundation that has been laid by the Pope to seek an end to this?
No, I think that the bishops during these presidential elections, before we had the presidential election, we saw some bishops already taking the courage, just that they were suppressed by the government that no, you should not involve yourself into politics. And I think that when he's mentioning that, I think he's telling them to take the courage to be talking about those things. And I think that if we have maybe bishops, priests who are talking about these things, the message can go through. They should not feel intimidated by those who are governing us. You see, when there's a crisis, when there's violence, they themselves, they are victims. So no one is left behind. They themselves are decrying the fact that they cannot go out and be preaching their gospel. They are also being kidnapped like others. So it is not, nobody is left behind. So I think that they have been trying somehow, just that those who are in power, or those who are, for example, the Ministry of Territorial Administration, who is also the person in control of religion, of all religions in Cameroon, has been intimidating them, telling them that no, they should not involve themselves into politics, which to me, I think was not a proper thing to do. We saw how the Archbishop of Yagua came out to decry the sufferings of the people. When
did the minister expressly ask them not to engage in this?
We know they use diplomacy in communication. Even the Pope, when you hear him speak, the message is going across, but it's not going confrontational. He's sending a message that we should think of a different path. When he says that, he wants to tell you that maybe where we are going or what they have been saying, there is no problem. We will dialogue with who? Maybe we should deviate from that path and then now try to listen to the people. We saw the post-electoral crisis. No, everybody is aware that something happened. So should we give a deaf ear to that? No, I think we should see things as they are and make sure that we go towards seeking peace, seeking unity, trying to love ourselves, because we cannot have leaders who don't love themselves, who don't love the people. So if we have people who sit in Yaoundé and decree peace, everything is fine. There's no action taken, no commitment.
Okay. When the Pope says it is time to choose another path, what path should be chosen henceforth, away from what has been done?
The path of peace, genuine peace.
Genuine peace, yeah.
Frank and inclusive dialogue.
Okay.
Intentional ability. They should be intentional about bringing the peace. That is why he says it shouldn't be a mere slogan. It could not be reduced, which means that he has studied the manner at which they are handling the issue of peace, and he shook his head and said, no, this nonsense that these guys are talking about. Peace is not what they are talking about. They have reduced it to a slogan. So if the bishops, look at what late Cardinal Tumi, may he so rest in peace, was trying to do. Why didn't they allow him to hold that all Anglophone conference and see what they were going to come out with? Because it should have been from the all Anglophone conference that they should have actually have a pathway. Then they put it on the table, and then we see whether we're going to constitutional amendments. Are we going to strike a balance? Because in arbitration and in mediation, you cannot have your 100% rights. You must give up. It is a give and take. You throw, you take this one, and we patch it together. You mix it now like flour, and then it produces bread. They did not allow it. When the bishops, they want to talk, they shun them. And you discover that when those bishops, the bishop of Yagua, the bishop of Bafusam, and the bishop of Douala, when all of them made those statements, they were sidelined. You didn't see that they put them again into the pipeline. Because if you can, and most of those authorities, they sit under the tutelage of those very bishops to receive the message, which means that they go and sit, but they are rebellious against their own direct political leaders because of their own political ambitions. Or because you cannot want to keep the state together by any means, and then the citizens that you are struggling. Because what are they keeping if the citizens are not there? If Cameroon does not have people, who would they be governing? So you must keep the people together. Another pathway is listening to the people. I think so. By listening to the people, you must allow them to speak. Whether they speak rubbish, the Desiderata said, listen to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their own story. We play that every day on Cameroon Calling. That is the background music or the background play during Cameroon Calling. Have they taken time? They should take time to listen to the wordings. The dull and the ignorant, maybe they are us sitting in the studio. We don't know governance. We don't know politics, perhaps. But let them listen to us, because we have our own story. We are speaking on behalf of the civil society, the common man who does not have access to, maybe we have people who have never gone to the DU's office. So we are speaking on their behalves. And as lawyers, we are voice for the voiceless. They should listen to us. Let it not be that we sit here or let them be talking what they are talking. If they say anything against us, we just send the police, pick them, torture them in their cell, and then they will keep quiet. It shouldn't be that. Those are pathways. And let the government equally knows that you are there for the citizens. Leaders are not rulers. We are not in the kingdom. Even in kingdoms now, the phone listen to his subject. The subjects have the right to form. That is why we have villages. We have the youth group. We have the Takumben group, make up of the women. That when something goes wrong, they come out like women and they go to the palace and they sit down with their peace plan and say, the phone, we have come to see you. This is not going on right. We need a change. This decision that you took is affecting us this way adversely. I watched the phone of Batu the other day. He had to had to pray to the gods to suspend Conference Sunday because a serious project was going on. They had to do the decking. And if they didn't do the decking on that day, which was the traditional day of the Mbatu people, the building, you know what they're doing, construction. Yes, you must complete it. Yes. So he had to come out and beg the gods that they should allow the people do this project because of the fear of what may happen. That is how you do compromises. There must be compromises. The government cannot sit on our strict rules and expect change. And then lastly, the way forward, change must equally come from us. Our own behavioral patterns, our own lifestyle, our own way at which we look at the government. Because those of us who are doing TikTok, when you post, when I post anything political, that is how I have many views. Yes. And that is how I have the comments. Yes. Most of the comments, if I post something different, the thing will not trend. When I post politics, they will come. And majority says, we are no longer interested. Let them do what they like. Whether the post of the the post of the vice minister have done what? Barrister, you are on your own. They come and you see, that is where you hear the people's voice, and you can understand the level at which they have so decentered themselves from what concerns the government. So we have to no, we are living in this country. Cameroon is our country.
Okay.
We have to love it. We have to do everything for it to stand and not to sink. Because we are not going anywhere.
It is time to chart a new path. What path for the government and the separatists?
Honestly, this path that we're talking about is the same path for peace. We just maybe have to use different means from what we used to, different strategies from what they have been using. But at the end of the day, what we need is peace. We want development. We want the country to move forward, especially in the northwest and southwest region. Everybody has relocated now to Douala. They're investing everywhere in Bonamusadi, investing in Bonaberi. All of these investments would have been in the northwest or in the southwest also to make sure the people there have better lives. In my opinion, the main problem that we have, I think, for peace to reign, first, the government must focus on the youth. We are the problem. We are frustrated, we are angry, and it's because of no jobs and poverty. Youths are getting married, they don't know even how they're going to live. You see men 40 years, they're not yet married because he's not able to feed himself. So it's a problem, it's a fundamental problem. Yes, and I think that the government should try to focus on the youth. Focus on the youth. One, you see the northwest and south, if they want to just solve all these problems, they should first of all industrialize that region. Give us some companies there that are doing manufacturing, create jobs. By the time these young people start having jobs, because all these things that people are talking about, unitary state, federal state, we don't care about those things. We just want to have a decent life. We want to raise our families, pay children's school fees, feed their family, pay hospital bill, pay their rents, at least the bare minimum. We don't have issues of federal state, municipal state. Honestly, all those stories are just stories that maybe our forefathers used to have. Like they said, they came and manipulated us to believe. Those things don't even concern us. Giving us, for example, if they give us a federal state, is it going to change the situation of poverty? Is it going to provide jobs? A federal state cannot provide jobs. What to provide jobs is for the government to invest in the right sectors. It's very important. So to me, this peace path that they say we should take, what the government has to do, the main thing they have to do, they should just know that the problem is the youth. And for these youth, they need to focus on what we want. How can they make the youth happy? How can they appease these youth? Give us jobs. Seriously, they give us jobs, there will be nobody who will be talking about unity state, or youth don't care about those things. We just want to live decent lives with our families. So they can build factories in the northwest and southwest, put like a seaport in Limbe, is going to create employment.
A dry port in Bamenda.
In Bamenda, whatever means they can do to industrialize those areas, they do it. And they will see the way all these youths will run to go and get jobs. They can invest also in the agricultural sector, where a lot of those youths that have not gone to school for 10 years, that are illiterate and semi-illiterate, can even have something to do. It should not just be office job where you need to use pen and paper. They should put all of this into consideration. Even if these companies will not make profit, if they can break even, if they are able to be self-sustainable, no profit is coming out, but they can pay their bills, they can pay their workers. This will provide employment. Now, when these youths are calm, the president said in his speech, in his inauguration speech, he said now they are supposed to focus on the youth. He said it's the time for the youth. You see, 90% of his speech was about the youth, because even the government knows that everything that is going on wrong in this country is because the youths are not happy. Majority of them have been misled. Like these people, mostly in the diaspora, they will say stories, and then the youth will be overwhelmed, and then they will do these things. So that is what is going to help us.
Yes. What is the way forward after the Pope's visit in Bamenda, because he's not going to Boya from yes, it's Douala and
No, I think already being in Bamenda, we saw delegations from Southwest, coming to join in Bamenda. You know, he has a very limited time, and I think he has actually maximized it. So, if I was to talk to the Pope, to tell him the way forward is that use your high office, use your diplomacy, and speak to the people that matter. We know Cameroon is not an isolated state. We have institutions. We have those who are into the corridors of power. This is no more time for politics. At least, this is time for action. When it is to violate our rights, they are very active. Now, they should now see how to redress the situation. First action, maybe the president should liberate some innocent Cameroonians or political prisoners. I don't know how you want to call them. Yes, or grant them amnesty.
No, amnesty done by the parliament only. President
yes, or he has liberated some. Those who are on waiting trial, they can still stop proceedings. Yes. So we know all those mechanisms exist. It's just the will that is maybe lacking. Yeah. 2, also on the way forward, also on the part of separatist leaders who are in the diaspora. Talk to your people back home.
No, let them leave us alone.
Let them leave us. We want peace. They should really leave us alone. The guns should be silent. No more goes down. People should be free to go about their activities. And you see that just by doing those basic things, development will come back. Who will not be happy? I'm not happy to be here in Douala, investing all my money here in Douala, when I could take it, maybe I invest in Garum. Because that's where I hail from. So just to tell you that it has not benefited me. It has not benefited any party. So let us be frank and speak truth to power. This is a time to speak truth to power. So I don't have. I'm looking hopeful. I know that the Pope has been here. He has passed the message. It is now for us to capitalize on it, and we have the means. We have the resources. We have intellectuals. We have people who can take leadership positions and repair all those wrongs. So nothing is lost already. So I think we can still repair all those wrongs. We can still make Cameroon a better place.
Okay, we can make Cameroon a better place.
The will is there.
Yes, what way forward? Your last words.
All right, so fellow viewers and panelists, Christianity is not naivety. Christianity is just a support mechanism for us to have our freedoms and be able to be morally upright, but it is not naivety. And I think that Cameroonians, it is time for everyone to wake up from sleep. And from the first time, I think Cameroonians now understand the power that the legislative arm of government has. And Cameroonians now understand that your vote counts. That the one that you choose in your constituency to go to parliament counts. That the one that you choose as mayor counts. So if you take bribes to vote, those who are incompetent or who don't represent the interests of your community, you have yourself to blame. Because if we are going to have a vice president, it is thanks to us. Because the 180 parliamentarians are representatives from 180 constituencies. They are our representatives, and they voted that we should have a vice president. Point of reminder, your vote counts. Christianity is not naivety. The Pope comes to remind us of our civic duties, that we should be morally upright as we engage in our civil and political rights. That is a take home for our community and for our statesmen, for our parliament, for our senate. The new direction is a constitutional dialogue that is inclusive of the diversity of the problems that different regions face in the contemporary time of Cameroon. It is time to go back to history. My brother said it very clear. It is time for the youth. It is time for young people to be given an opportunity to be leaders. We need young leadership in this country. Even if it's not the head, we can have young ministers. We can have many young mayors. We can have young directors. We have created all these higher institutions. We have young people are professors. Why are you killing their enthusiasm, their patriotism, their ability to serve? This is the new direction that the Pope is calling. And lastly, it is time to go back to at least the resolutions of the Grand National Dialogue. Some of them. Some of them. I mean, some of them to me were very, very catchy, important, like the DDR centers that have been created. But how do we make them functional? How do we make them more appetizing, more attractive to those who are in the bushes? The main question of special status remains unanswered. What is special status? What is special status? We need these questions answered, and we need action. It is a time for us to be intentional. We need political freedoms to be respected. We need a new direction where journalists can continue to have their political debates, where they can hold government, they can hold directors accountable. It is on these platforms that when a minister sits and is reproached on certain actions that he took that were against the rule of law, then it is a forum for him or her to sit up. So please, now is time for a new direction. A direction that is guided by the freedoms of our people. A direction where sovereignty does not come from individuals, but sovereignty comes from the voice of the people.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Clifford there, and also thank you to you, Barrister, for coming. Akwen.
Was my pleasure, Mr. Liu. I hope we have exhausted to an extent what we had today. We will still message further to the youths is they should do, the ballot box is still speaking, they should do their best to go and register, obtain their voters card. And they should try again to regain confidence in the government. As per the words of the pontiff that all of us were expecting, he has come, he has spoken. All the quarters have heard, the youths have heard, the voices in the bushes have heard, our ministers have heard, the head of state have heard. Everybody should take down his or her own responsibility by doing the needful. And to our head of state,
Okay, Barrister Harris.
part of the crisis is marginalization. They should think of the vice minister coming from the Anglophones. I think it will go a long way to solve the issue of marginalizations on the Anglophones in this country. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Barrister Harris.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kum. I will end with my closing remarks with 2 points. First is about this peace issue. For immediate peace to come, I will repeat again, the problem is on the youth. All the problem we have seen in Cameroon is concerning the youth, because we constitute a very large majority of the country actively. And for immediate peace, the government should take necessary steps, actions to create employment for the youths, especially in the northwest and southwest region. Because, like Barrister Tanfu said, for these people also to come out from these bushes, because he said these people should come out. All of us are saying they should come out. But do you think that these people who have started seeing money in the bushes kidnapping and taking 5, 10, 15, 20 million will just come out and go back to joblessness? I don't think so. So first thing, give them an alternative. Say, okay, this is the right path. We are creating 500,000 jobs, 1 million jobs. Now they know that if they are putting their arms down, they are going to somewhere where they will be able to feed themselves and their families. So that's first for the immediate actions that the government should take for peace, immediate peace. Now for long-term, long-lasting peace, we spoke about injustice and inequalities. Still on the side of the youth, let them go like Council here said that they need to focus on the youth. The youth should take responsibility, post of leadership, where they serve, they lead through service. It means that what? You are not going as a leader to go and enrich yourself or for selfish family interests. You are going there to serve the people. Our young leaders should get actively involved, particularly in this parliamentary and municipal issue. Because all our problems in this country come from that parliament. You see all this thing that we're talking about here is constitutional. If we have 180 parliamentarians and 160 belong to one party, what do you think? And then most of them are 50 years and above, 60 years and above. They don't even understand the problems that we as young men here face. What do you think they will be doing? So it's good for us. For all of us are young. Anybody who is 50 and below is young. I'm not sure you are 60. So all of us here fall under the youth. It's good for us youths to get actively involved in this local politics, because that is where we will start solving our day-to-day problems. If we have young, active men who have the compassion and love for the people, they will definitely, in those positions, not vote stupid laws. And if we have municipal councillors, mayors that also have that same mindset, they will make sure that there is development within their municipalities and local councils or local communities. So it's important, not just youth leaders that we need. We need youth leaders that are competent.
Okay,
enough.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Good evening. I'm Cole Harrison from Bamenda. Just like what one of the barristers said, we don't care about the presidency or the administrative roles. Let the ancients of days stay there. Our only problem is they are not doing what they are supposed to do to better our lives. Take, for example, countries like North Korea and China. They are ruled by dictatorship, but the citizens are not complaining because they are fine. So if we are fine in Cameroon, nobody would talk about the chair or whatever. Thank you for coming, Barrister Tamfu.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. It's always an honor for me to be here. And the topic of today, I think, was very, very enriching. We can only continue to do our own part and let others also do their own part. We have done the needful, and I think that everyone that listened to this program at least has retained something. When we go back, let us meditate on the message of the Pope and let us do what is important. We are no more kids that will be chasing us with sticks to respect others. So I think we know what is good for Cameroon, and it is not the task of a single person. It is our joint responsibility.
Okay, thank you for coming, Barrister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. I think it has been a very interesting and wonderful program, and I thank also the panelists for the responsible exchanges. I think if we go home, there's one thing that we share in common, that the Pope's message should make Cameroon move forward. That the Pope's message should leave us with empathy. That the Pope's message should make us take our direct responsibilities as individuals, as communities, as parents, as traditional rulers, as statesmen, as citizens of this country, as the head of state, as ministers, to be able to look for a way forward, not only for the Anglophone crisis, but also for all the injustices that have been plaguing our country from north to south, from west to east, and look for a way forward for harmony and unity in our country.
Okay, let's briefly take a listen to what the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Bamenda had to tell the Holy Father in Bamenda today.
Bamenda people, you are a chosen race. You are a royal priesthood, a consecrated nation, a people set apart to sing the praises of Yahweh, who called you out of darkness into his own wonderful light. Most Holy Father, you have come to visit us at a time when the people of this ecclesiastical province, corresponding to the civil territorial circumscription of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, need your presence and your comfort most. We have seen a lot of suffering. For the past 8 years, many of our people have suffered a lot from a situation they did not create. Thousands are either internally displaced or escaped as refugees. Businesses were shut down, and for about 4 years, our children were not allowed to go to school. Children were used as a political bait. Many priests, religious, and bishops of this province have either been harassed, beaten, kidnapped, or even killed in this conflict. Yet, the Church continues to carry the gospel as a light of hope among a traumatized people. Many women have been rendered widows, children orphaned, and many people rendered homeless by this crisis. Most Holy Father, today that your feet are standing on the soil of Bamenda, that has drunk the blood of many of our children, we in Bamenda can address ourselves in the messianic words of the prophet Isaiah. A people that walked in darkness has seen a great light. On those who live in the land of deep shadow, a light has shone. You have made their gladness greater. You have made their joy increase. They rejoice in your presence as men rejoice at the harvest time, as men are happy when they are dividing the spoils. We are happy because in this time of crisis, we see you as a messenger of peace. We see you as an ambassador of reconciliation. We see you as a promoter of justice. We see in you the presence of God himself among us, who has come to visit his people like the dawn from on high. Even if the Holy Father says nothing today, his presence is a consoling presence. His blessings bring peace, and his words come like anointing on the wounds of those who are bleeding. With your presence here, Holy Father, I can confidently say, now is the time for peace. Most Holy Father, we shall not waste the chance that your presence here offers us to continue to work for peace and justice and reconciliation. We are sure that your coming to Bamenda is like the rain that never falls to the earth without watering the ground. So too we believe that your visit will not leave us to continue fighting, but to start loving one another. In this cathedral are gathered traditional rulers, brothers and sisters from the Protestant churches, members of the Islamic religion, priests, religious, catechists, seminarians, and members of Christ's lay faithful from the northwest and southwest regions, making up the 5 dioceses of this ecclesiastical province. We have lived this situation together. There is no Catholic peace. There is no Islamic peace. There is no Protestant peace. Peace is peace. And all of us are seeking peace. Some of these, our brothers, will share their experiences of what they have lived the past 8 years. Have a nice stay among us in Bamenda, Holy Father. Welcome to Bamenda, and we beg for your blessing.
Premises of the airport, and we have a team of
With that address by the Archbishop of the Bamenda Archdiocese to the Pope while he was in Bamenda earlier this morning, we just know that there was also deliveries from the Muslim community. We had a sister who also delivered somewhat to the Pope, after which there was a symbolic gesture from the Pope, who had to, I don't know how to describe what happened in front of the cathedral, where a pigeon, a white pigeon, was released, a dove was released as a symbol of asking the Holy Spirit to descend upon the southwest and northwest regions to heal them from years of conflict. After which the Pope and his entourage moved on to the Mancon and Bafut airport for a Holy Mass, which was celebrated by himself, after which he took off for Yaoundé, where he is as we speak. Tomorrow he's expected to be back in Douala, where he's also going to be addressing the population of the littoral region before departing Cameroon from Yaoundé on Saturday. We want to thank you all for watching this edition of the program. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.